Hey guys, today we're going to talk about separation in the context of how a plaintiff can use the fact of a couple's separation to prove that the marriage has irretrievably broken down. As you are aware from the introductory video, 3 years separation is required for cases of uncontested divorce. And for contested divorces, that means you are going to fight over ancillary matters, maintenance, division of matrimonial assets. You have to show that the couple have separated for 4 years. It is easier to prove separation if the couple decides to live separately from each other in different houses during the period of separation. But some of the previous cases have shown that physical separation, living in separate houses, may not be enough. These cases help that there must be an intention of the couple to be separated and not just to live apart. They need to have the intention to separate. For example, if one spouse is required by his work commitments to work overseas for a period of time, that will not count towards the period of separation. With physical separation, there must also be a loss of consortium. What is consortium? Consortium is the right to companionship and the association with your spouse, with your spouse during the marriage. A couple who live apart but whose daily life show that do not intend to put an end to the marriage will not be considered to have separated for the purposes of divorce, because even though they live apart, they continue to do things together. So there is consortium. So they cannot. So there is no loss of consortium. So they will not be deemed to have been separated during this period. So if the couple continues to do things together, even though they have moved out and live in different houses, for example, going shopping together, having meals together, doing things together, there will not be loss of consortium and the separation would not considered to be valid. Any period of separation should be done for a continuous period of time. However, if the spouses during the separation period do resume cohabitation, I mean start living again together for 6 months or less, the judge will not take that into consideration because the courts want to promote reconciliation between the parties. So if, for example, if a couple is separated for a year and during the year the man moves back with the wife for 3 months, it's not going to break the 1 year separation. What about couples who don't have the luxury of moving out? They have no choice but to stay together in the same house because of various reasons. They don't have another place to move to. Their parents' house is full, or because of the children's needs. So, even if a couple decides to live under the same roof during the period of separation, it is still possible to prove separation. The parties may be living together physically, but they must maintain separate households. For example, they should ideally sleep in separate bedrooms. Since separation is a fact-centric matter, that means the court will look at all the facts in deciding whether there is separation. The judge will look at all these circumstances to determine whether there was a loss of consortium and breakdown in the marriage between the couple, even while living together. But for uncontested divorces, the fact, especially if you have a deed of separation, this will not be such an issue because you'll be giving affidavits stating that you start to live apart between this day and this day. And especially if you have a deed of separation which states a date where you separate, this will not be an issue. The judge is unlikely going to make too much queries about it. This is more for the case of contested divorces. So to increase your case of showing that the separation is valid, you should refrain from performing your usual spousal duties if you are living under the same roof, such as cooking or cleaning for your spouse. You and your spouse should also keep separate financial records of your expenses. and as I mentioned previously, sleep in different bedrooms to give more credence and support your case that there was physical separation in the case of contested divorces. As mentioned earlier, it's a good idea to get a lawyer to draft a proper deed of separation to record the date when the couple had officially separated. It will also set out the arrangements relating to the divorce, like division of matrimonial assets, who gets to keep the matrimonial home, or whether the matrimonial home will be sold, the sale proceeds divided equally or in percentages, who gets custody, care and control of the children, the amount of maintenance, blah 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 blah. So thanks for watching this video on separation in the context of divorce.